Yo.
What up? What up?
Woo, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
Dude,
this is
pre-Thanksgiving
the last time we
go.
did this, man.
Was it, man? Was it
I
before
think so.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
though?
man. Yeah.
Fuck.
It might have been the day before Thanksgiving, actually. It was the night before Thanksgiving.
Oh, you might be right, bro. You might be right.
Let's fucking go, man.
Well, man, you know, we back in here. Juan got some new lighting. I feel like I'm in a fucking movie or something.
Yeah, for real.
Shit, everything's bright in here. What's going on? What's going on?
Dumb. I felt like we have pretty faces. I felt like people should be privy to that through.
I was thinking that we should be dimming the lights instead.
I have clearly I have an inflated sense of self.
No, man, my shit gets taken down every time I see a picture of myself. I'll be like, that ain't the guy I see in the mirror. Do I really look like that?
It humbles you.
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit them with the drink of the day.
Listen, man, we got the Polish Mule here today. Let's fucking go.
Not to be confused with the Moscow Mule.
That's right. This is even though it is comrades ingredients across the border. Which we haven't done one of these on the pod in a while, man. Any kind of mule, man.
Yeah,
it's been a couple
over
years,
a year.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a while, man. So for those that don't know how to make a mule, you gotta get the copper mug. You gotta fill it up with some crushed ice. We did 2 ounces of vodka. We're doing the Belvedere organic vodka though this week, man. I don't think
From Poland.
From Poland. That's why we're calling it the Polish Mule, because it's fuck you Russia all day every day. So Polish Mules are 2 ounces of the vodka.
Unless you got subscribers, you know.
Oh, this is true. If you're in Russia and you're allowed to listen to us and you subscribe, in that case, yo, shout out to you guys. We can be bought.
Goddamn right.
Send some bottles over the vodka. But yeah, so copper mug, crushed ice, 2 ounces of the vodka, half an ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. It's a 5 ounce can. Get the Fever Tree ginger beer of the small cans, are 5 ounces. Put the whole thing in there. Throw in some mint. Squeeze in another lime up top and just stir and enjoy. It's so simple, straight to the point. It doesn't even sound like it should be good because of the ingredients that are in it. Like it's
Dude, I was so skeptical because
three ingredients basically.
Because I haven't had it for it's been well over a year, probably 2 years since we've had.
I think it's been at least 2.
Yeah. And so when I saw the ingredients, I was just like, I remember us enjoying the mule. I didn't remember what it tasted like, and looking at the ingredients, and I'm going, this can't be that good. But it really is.
No,
like,
great.
and I love. I mean, we joked about this before, where ginger beer with anything just fucking it really it's just good, right?
I fucking hate it. It's like you want to be like, again, ginger beer, and then you're like, God damn it tastes good and everything, man.
Yeah. So this one definitely hits. It's easy to make. Just a few ingredients. Definitely check this one out, man or woman.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering. It's not. I don't even know if I even taste the liquor. No. I mean,
and you can get creative with mules. Like if you can throw in, strawberry syrups and passion fruit syrups and all that. Just like a squeeze of it, just to make it a little fruitier. To your point, if you're someone who likes a fruity drink, I might have to do a mule with a different liquor next week, man. Now I'm like, I forgot how good mules were, man.
We're gonna have to do like a whole season of mules.
Yeah. There's actually a place by me like a block away that their signature thing is mules, different kinds. Really? They do like tequilas, mezcals, bourbon, vodka. They'll do gin. They have all kinds of like mules. Yeah. So I might have to see if I steal a recipe from them or something.
There you go, man. And for those of you who are health conscious, it's 120 calories.
Yeah.
Per drink.
Yeah, do vodka. If you get the right vodka, that won't make you regret life the next morning. And you mix the right stuff. Yeah, it's definitely the more the diet friendly liquor for sure. And like I said, this doesn't taste like it's only 120 calories. It tastes like it's worse than that, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like it's sweet and it lasts a long time. I think we were like talking before. It's like normally I would have had 57 by the time we start, but yeah, like I think this is my third, and
yeah. Third, definitely my third and last. But to your point, there's something about the normally when you allow the ice to melt, right, it really waters on the drink. It doesn't seem to affect this one as much. It almost like it adds to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. By the time I was done with the drink, obviously a lot of the ice is melted, but the drink doesn't feel water. It doesn't taste water.
It has something to do with the copper mug. There's like a whole science behind the copper mug and the crushed ice and like the rate at which it melts at.
Oh, is that right?
That adds to like the there's literally like a whole science behind why they do it this way, but that adds to like the rate of it melting and yeah. Like not to get too geeky.
No, but it definitely.
But it works.
The cup definitely keeps that shit cold. It's cold the entire time.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I like
Try it out, people.
Try it out, people. It's a good drink, man.
All right, man. Compliment of the week is going out to, I don't know who. I mean, I know who we're giving it to, but I don't know who we're giving it
to. We know what we're giving it to.
What we're giving it to.
Fuck yeah. How do we? Because I didn't do. Man.
Yeah, I don't know who gets this. But the story that if you have been watching the news, the CEO for United Healthcare was gunned down in New York City last week?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the culprit or the alleged killer is Luigi Maggione.
Man, he sounds like he's fucking out of The Sopranos.
Yeah. Now, this guy...
I love everything about this story, minus the fact that this guy had to die, but also...
No, that definitely so,
actually,
man.
I take that back. I hate that we have to act like we give a fuck about a CEO of a healthcare company. We have to act empathetic.
No, man, listen, and part of the things that I want to get to is, like, you know, killing people is never the fucking answer, right? Like, if shit is fucked up or whatever, like, going around killing people is not the answer, but... To take it back, this guy was not like some run-of-the-mill kid. Like the guy was a Ivy League grad. He went to University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, undergrad and graduate degree from Ivy League.
From Ivy League school.
Yeah.
He used a 3D printed gun and silencer.
Yeah.
To commit this murder. They found some writing from this guy. Where he said this was a symbolic takedown and a direct challenge to the healthcare company's corruption and power games. And also it says the reality is these companies have gotten too powerful and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit. And I cannot disagree with that. I don't think that the CEO should have had to die for that.
Yeah, like you don't think we should be deciding whether or not who gets to live or die based on...
No, man, I don't. I think this guy went about it. I think this guy, you know, obviously he probably had... Oh, and the other thing that came out today, I think I saw an article where he has like chronic back problems, this kid.
Oh, this kid? Oh, really?
Yeah. He's got like screws in his back and he's got like a misaligned spine.
Oh, so he's been through the...
So he's been through some, right.
Stuff.
And listen, we've all like... And I was talking to my kids about this because one of my sons brought it up to me, and I go, yo, I don't condone it, but I can be empathetic and I can understand somebody who pays into a system and then when you need the help and then you're not getting it.
Yeah.
And I gave him a good example. I go like, listen, like we have United Healthcare.
Okay.
And I told my son, I go like, yo, I paid $200 a week, so $800 a month for you guys to be able to go to the doctor. I go, you know me. I go, I don't even go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's $800 a week. I go, if something were to happen to you, to my son, and for whatever reason, some procedure that you needed to live was denied by the insurance company that I pay $800 a month into, I go, I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? And so unfortunately, so the CEO was gunned down in New York City. I think he was coming out or going into a hotel room or going
coming
into a
out
hotel,
on his way
out.
to an investor conference. Yeah,
I was gonna say going to an investor conference, which I go like, yo, I forget that companies like United Healthcare, like they are a for-profit business.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's just like, man, should healthcare, or should health insurance be a for-profit, or should those be run by nonprofits that are looking? And I tell you this, man, even if you are for-profit, and here's the problem: when you are for-profit, you are beholden to your investors and your shareholders, and not the people that you are there to actually support, the people that are actually paying into your business to support them. Like, they are not your first priority.
Yeah. No. I don't know what the answer to that is, man, because I feel like the knee-jerk reaction is that it should be that way. But when I go down and I think about the unintended consequences of a system like that, is like, do you stipend creativity and ingenuity and advancement in healthcare and all that, because now you make it less lucrative?
But what is United Healthcare doing?
Government subsidized program.
But what is United Healthcare doing to advance healthcare?
No, they're not. But also, you need someone who's going to foot the bill, right? Like the insurance company. Like, someone has to be willing to take on footing that bill. And to be fair, man, unless you're a private citizen paying for your health insurance, a lot of companies are self-insured. So really, your company picks up the bill. The insurance company is just an administrator of the plan. They really don't actually pay for your medical bills, and a lot of corporations are doing it. Yeah, because it's a much cheaper route than, before. A lot of people were covering, and maybe some smaller companies might do this now, where you're actually paying for insurance coverage and the insurance company is actually the one footing the bill, right? And for them, it's a gamble, right? They're taking your $800 a month, and then they're saying, hopefully you don't need this sick money, right? Like, this is $8,000 a year, and if it's more than that, but whatever, for math's sake, it's $8,000 a year, and if you don't spend more than that $8,000 a year, they make money, right? And so the first time you get, an MRI and then you have a broken leg or whatever, now it's $10,000. Now they're losing money off you and your plan, right? So like, they're basically in a gambling industry where they're gambling on the fact that you don't get hurt, because they don't want you to use. It's a reality situation is they don't want you to use the plan because they don't.
Right.
But what happens is, for most of these companies, they're self-insured, which means is that the health insurance provider just has these deals and they negotiate rates and all this stuff with the healthcare providers, and then they get the bill and then they send it to your employer, and your employer ends up paying that bill.
Oh, wow.
And that happens in the vast majority of cases. In places that you and I have been in, that has been the case. I don't know if that's still the case, but it's definitely something that is very, very common, and more times than not these days, because of the rising costs of actually having straight up health insurance. That's the route that people take. And then there's like multipliers and how it works. Like, basically every year they basically raise it or lower it. It's never lower, but based on your usage and all this stuff, right? Obviously, but then you as an employer end up, like, the sad part about this, right, is that even as an employer, you start making decisions about people based on the cost of them, right? Like, if you have an employee who's chronically ill or has a terminal illness and all that stuff, like, sadly enough, I think people consider that for employment. Because it's like, you might be a $50,000 employee that might cost me $500,000 a year in healthcare bills, and it's a conversation that people have, like, whether people want to admit that or not. Like, it's definitely a conversation.
I wonder if if you're that way, do they look for ways to get rid of you?
I'm not going to say that they do, but I'm going to say that there's a very high likely scenario that someone would do that. I'm not going to say I've seen it. I'm just saying that it's not uncommon.
The
possibility exists, man.
Highly.
Yeah. And then so, like, this guy shouldn't be making the decision on whether this guy gets to live or die or whatever based on his employment, I think, or based on like what he does. It really should have been the job of the algorithm that the health care insurance company uses to decide whether or not you get to live or die. Your circumstances shouldn't have been this guy. I'm pissed off that he didn't get to the hospital and then they like deny him coverage. Like, can you imagine? The CEO. Like, the fact that he died before the guy. Like, I just wanted that scenario. Like, you ever been in a hospital and while you're still fucked up, they hand you the iPad to sign?
So I had that one time. It wasn't for me, man. I took my mom. I was like a late teenager, man, maybe 18, 19. Took my mom to the emergency room. She had kidney stones.
Yeah.
And she's like in excruciating pain, waiting to be taken back, and the person that was at the front desk, I don't know if they were new or whatever, but asking me questions like, "What's my religious preference?" And I'm fucking like, at one point, I just like lost it.
That's a wild ass question because it's like based on the symptoms you're telling us, she's not gonna make it. So who should we call down here?
Yo, it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
But yeah, dude. Here's the other thing too, man. Is like with our healthcare, it kind of goes. It brought me to the place of. I was thinking about, I was talking to my son and going like, yeah, like I never go to the doctor, or hardly ever. But there's been a lot of evidence over the years of like things like cancer and heart disease and diabetes, right? Those things just in like triple, quadruple what they used to be. And you look at the food that we eat, right? Like the processed foods that we ingest that fuck with our health. And then it's just like you get into these things where it's like you got cancer or diabetes, and then you have the drug companies that are making money off of treating the symptoms, not treating the root cause.
No, we're really shitty about doing preventative stuff here. We're really shitty about, like you said, just curing. We treat symptoms, and we never, we don't treat the cause. We don't try to prevent them. We don't, it's like, I laugh that we don't have like full body scans aren't normal part of like annual physicals, and it's like a cost thing, and it's like how much more does it cost you when that person ends up getting cancer at stage 3 or 4 and they have aggressive treatment? It's like again, because it's to your point earlier, because it's privatized and it's for profit.
It's for profit. That's what I'm saying. So like, right, so you get the drug companies that are treating the symptoms, and then those drug companies are very powerful and they influence our politicians. And it's just like this cycle of just like, right, like all these sort of like these big companies. The other day there was a story that came out that the FDA is finally going to outlaw one of the Red 3, which is a food dye.
Okay.
Dude, Red 3 is derived from petroleum, and it's found in petroleum fucking, oil, gas, right? It's found in food and snacks and beverages, candy.
Okay.
Right? Fruit Loops. You know what I mean? Like shit that's on the shelves, and it's banned in a lot of other countries. It's banned also in California, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to bring in food into California that has
the red.
Wow. Is that the one that makes my sperm count low? Which one's the one that makes?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't heard.
Yellow 5. Whatever's the Mountain Dew is supposed to kill my sperm count or something like that too.
Don't take a bunch of long road trips and then try to have babies.
Oh man, yeah, we have a weird because I think it's in this guy's manifesto. He wrote this whole. It's funny, dude. I was so wrong. First off, about this guy when it first came out and I saw the incident, a lot of people thought like, oh, contract killer, and I was like, yeah, no way. Like contract killers aren't doing that in broad daylight. You're not taking that kind of risk. It's too high profile. Like you're just going about it differently. And so like then I thought, oh, has to be former military covert ops, whatever. It was just how comfortable that guy was in that high stress, high pressure situation, like the gun jams. Like if you haven't seen the video, it's fucking impressive. Like I know we're talking about a dude who murdered someone. Oh, bro.
Tell me about it.
He takes a shot, right?
Yep.
The gun jams on shot number 2. He unjams the gun.
Goddamn 3D
in like
guns.
the most fucking. There's a name for the maneuver that he does to unjam the gun, and people who handle guns know what I'm talking about. But there's a maneuver he does, bro. He does it, and he's not even like smacking the gun hard. He just like calmly unjams the gun, reap things, dumps bullets, fucking fires off 2-3 more shots, and then just takes off. Like it was the comments. It was like, oh, you've done this before. So I immediately thought, oh, you've been in a war zone, or you've been in a high stress situation like that. You're clearly comfortable handling firearms and all that. Wrong. Just fucking a psychopath that's Ivy League educated, high IQ. It makes sense that it's a 3D printed gun. So obviously probably had fired this thing multiple times, probably knew that it would jam, knew how to, you know what I mean? It was okay, got himself clearly comfortable. But one of the things I saw in his manifesto was that, and he has a point, man. I was sort of like reading notes for this. It was we have the most expensive healthcare in the world, like number one.
Correct.
We have we're like number 46 in life expectancy. Like the United States of America is like number 40, which is fucking crazy, right? Because we pump our chests and we do all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, this is a great country to live in. But the fact that 45 other countries in the world have a higher life expectancy, and I want to look that up because I don't know as of what date, because I know that number changes.
No, bro, but this brings me back
to
what I said earlier about like the foods that are pushed on us, right? The foods that are inexpensive and are readily available in our supermarkets. A lot of this shit is fucking poison.
It's horrible, but it's because it's for profit, and it's like. So it's been on the decline. Yeah, it's 46th and 47th in 2021. 46th in 2020. It was the United States ranked 35th and 19th respectively of 204 countries and territories for males and females, but dropped to 46th and 47th respectively. So between males and females. So
dude, and you just said 204 countries?
204 countries.
Dude, like that's unacceptable.
We're not even in the top 10%.
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy,
it's
bro.
Fucking crazy.
It's fucking nuts. And then of course, it's the two things that we're not taught in school is like true like health.
Right.
And finances.
But I could play hot cross buns like a motherfucker on a recorder.
That's the flute thing, right?
Flute thing.
I remember the first day.
Y'all sleeping on hot cross buns, yo.
I don't know what the fuck we played, but I remember in fourth grade, they handed me a flute and said it was a recorder, and I was like, what the fuck is it? I'm like, this thing.
They call it a recorder. We don't even call it the right thing.
It's not recording anything. What are you talking about? You think I'm stupid?
But this lady thinks I'm dumb. Wait, where's our education system ranked?
Exactly. And my teacher, she wasn't even from this country, and I was just like, nah, you wrong. This is a flute.
Bro, this whole shit was just wild, man. So it's so wrong. I'm fucking obviously high IQ individual. The whole thing, man. He has a whole manifesto as to the why. And listen, I know we're fucking around about this a lot. It is hard to. Listen, the reality of the situation is that, like, yeah, somebody lost their life. It is really hard to empathize. Like, I know that's not the right thing to say, but I think as people, to your point before about how much we pay for healthcare, about how fucked it is because we're not preventative at all. It seems very much like we're for profit when it comes to health.
Yeah.
And there are pros to that, which I can get to in a second. But like I think with this whole shit, it's sort of like illuminated this circumstance that I think we all kind of know about, but doesn't really get a lot of attention because these places are so powerful. What happens from here on out with these like CEOs to companies like this? Because, dude, I've spoken to 3 people in healthcare in the last week.
Okay.
All 3 of them went, United Healthcare is the worst one to fucking deal with. I can almost guarantee anytime I submit a claim for them, it's going to get denied, and I have to keep resubmitting it for different things. And they're almost always stupid clerical things. They're like, they don't even tell you, hey, we just don't cover that thing. It'll be like, you didn't attach the right, fucking X-ray angle or whatever. It'll just be.
It's make it impossible.
They're like, it's just so hard. And they gave me the ones that are like good, but they're like, we roll our eyes every time we see someone give us a United Healthcare. And by the way, United Healthcare has like the 4th highest market cap of any company in the U.S. The only people ahead of United Healthcare are Google, Apple, and I want to say Meta. I could be wrong, but I know Google and Apple are definitely ahead of it. There's only one more company.
You sure they Amazon?
You might be right, man. I know it's like number 3 in market cap, which is. Wild.
That's wild, bro.
It's wild.
But going back to what you said with regards to it being hard to sort of get payment from them, it's like insurance companies, their MO is to take in as much money as possible and to put out as little as possible. And so if you make it difficult for people to get their money, right, then you're keeping more of the money that you take in.
Yeah. Right, because again, the name of the game is to pay out as little as you can. And their market cap is almost at $1 trillion. I'm almost positive that they are. They're the largest health insurance provider by market capitalization, for market cap of about $510 million. So this is 5 days ago. And you know, and it continues to grow. So they're going to keep going. Oddly enough, the stock dropped last week after they merged.
Dude, I would imagine other CEOs, because you know, I think that it's kind of that's why I went to the whole of like, it's not just.
I said $510 million, sorry, $1 billion, because it's on its way. Billion would it be? Sorry, yeah.
Health insurance is part of the problem, right? There's the food and drug the food and drug industry, or the food industry, you know, that's making us sick. The drug companies are only treating the symptoms, and then the drug companies influence the politicians that make policies, right? And so this guy, when I first saw this story, I immediately thought, and again, not knowing the guy at all, who he was, what he was, where he went to school, education, none of that shit, right? I immediately said, oh, he got fucked by these guys.
Oh, yeah. I definitely thought, like, so when I was thinking, like, former military, whatever, I went, that's someone whose either coverage was denied to them,
right,
or to a loved one.
Yes.
And because it seemed too personal, right? And then he wrote things on the bullets. I saw that he wrote,
I didn't see that.
There was like 3 phrases on the bullets, but the 3 phrases are part of a title of a book on the healthcare industry about how fucked it is. And I'm drawing a blank right now, but I know all the words start with a D. But you do also, you know how fucking patient you have to be to carve onto a bullet. You know what I mean? Like you were ready for that shit. Also, you dumped 2 or 3 of them that jammed, and then the ones that hit him still had the fucking the sayings on. It's like the shit was so plain. It's almost like, I'm gonna shoot once and shit's gonna jam. I gotta do this. I'm gonna have to shoot 2 more. You know, it's like he fucking knew.
And he probably did the fucking engraving.
And maybe he did it on all of them. Who knows? But it's just ironic to me that the 3 shells that were empty all had the and it wasn't like the same writing. You know, it was like the 3 letters. And maybe he wrote out the entire title of the book. It's only 3, so maybe the entire fucking chamber was the title of the book on each. Like I don't know, but I'm speculating. But it was yeah, it seemed very personal. To your point, of this is someone who's fed up with this shit and got fucked, and it just said, I don't have anything to lose. And dude, and ironically enough, now the U.S. government has to pay for his healthcare if what you're saying is true, that he's got a fucked up back. Not only are we going to pay to keep him alive, I think you get rid of the death penalty because he's confessing, right? So I think death penalty is off the table. I
don't know.
I'm almost positive in a police situation like that where you go, you can almost plead guilty, and the plea deal would be, yo, I'm going to save you guys a ton of money. I'll agree to life in prison, and so now you got to keep him alive. If he has an ailment, you got to pay to keep him comfortable and all this shit. You know, it's just like, it's kind of hilarious for this guy. Bro. Also, can we talk about the fucking bro? First off, he gets caught because he's a good-looking kid, right? Like
you're right.
And so the internet is like on fire about this kid. Like all the women coming out saying like, "Oh, I'll just say he was with me all night." Like he's got alibis for days if he wants them. But like every great man, his downfall is gonna be a fucking woman. I was like, God damn it, bro.
Yo,
he could have got away with it.
Kept your fucking mask on.
Keep your mask on and don't flirt with the chick at Starbucks, and you would have been fine, you stupid bitch, bro. I was like, why, bro?
Fucking women, man. They're fucking downfall, man.
So now I was annoyed. I was like, of course it was that, right? And then I go, and then the fact that fucking a McDonald's employee was the one that ratted him out was infuriating to me, because I go, the same people who can't get their fucking ice cream machines to work, you're gonna tell me they can bounty hunt from 3 states away, bro? I was like,
actually, what I read was it was a customer that went to the McDonald's employee and was like, yo, I think that's the guy.
Why would you tell a McDonald's employee?
No idea.
Why you don't have a cell phone? What year is this? Like, yo, can I use your phone? I think this guy is the dude that just killed the United Healthcare CEO. Like, snitch ass. Yo, if you're the McDonald's CEO, you gotta lay low. The world hates you right now, bro. Because I'm like, if anybody deserves to get some shit, it's the guy whose ice cream machines never fucking work. It's like snitching ass employees, bro. I would, I was disappointed because I would have thought Chick-fil-A employees, for sure, definite snitches. McDonald's employees, I'd have thought they'd have helped them cover up. I'd have thought they'd have given him a uniform, fucking hit him in the back. Nope. Rat him out. Fuck you guys. I was so disappointed to hear that shit, bro. It's like, damn, bro, we can't have nothing nice.
Yo, man. Yeah, normally with our carbon footprints, man, we give shout outs to people, man. I can't give shout outs to nobody on this.
It's
one,
the circumstance, I think, because I don't know, man. This isn't something that can just get swept under the rug. I don't know. People will move differently because of this, whether it's corporations. And I'm not saying from a financial perspective. I just think you're going to see these guys with security. You're going to see
that's what I think.
People taking things off their websites about, their executives, the bios, all that stuff. Because the other thing, it just very much seemed like an inside job just because this wasn't this guy's normal routine, he knew what he was going to be. But in his manifesto, he lays out, he's like, hey, I'm just going to save you guys the trouble. I worked by myself. He was like, this was elementary social engineering. I didn't do anything fucking, this was trivial. It was dumb shit that I could just find online. It's how I knew where he was going to be, when he was going to be there, all this shit. Which, if you guys aren't aware, man, and you're one of these serial posters on fucking social media, or you're even on it all the time and you don't fuck with your security settings, people know where you're going to be, when you're going to be, it's you're seeing this shit with celebrities getting robbed all the time now. Dude, you're seeing it with athletes getting robbed all the time. Yeah. And I know the athletes a little easier to predict. Hey, they have a game at this time.
Oh yeah, they have Monday
but it's happening
football
with fucking celebrities because you're posting a picture and you're in fucking Monaco or a video or whatever, and then they're like, oh, he's not home, I'm gonna go break into his, but normal people too, man. And I know companies have policies behind this about posting when you're on company business and that sort of thing. But I think as people in our social life, we have to get better about that shit just from a safety perspective, because this guy literally used just social media and all kinds of shit. Yeah. He's like, it wasn't hard. It's like in his manifesto, he's like, bro, I'm going to save y'all the time of the investigation. He's like, you're not going to be able to get into my devices, so good luck. I'm an engineer. They're pretty locked down. But he's basically like, here's what you need to know.
Right.
So definitely, again, high IQ, definitely something wrong with him, right? For sure. Or not, man. You go, is this just, man, I think our default response to people is when they don't act the way we think they're supposed to act, that we say there's something wrong with them, there's a mental illness, there's whatever. No, and then sometimes I think we grossly underestimate how fed up human beings respond. We can pay a human being to murder other people in the name of quote unquote freedom.
Yep.
And we don't think that those same human beings are capable of then doing something for, to stand up for something that they believe is right personally. Correct. Right? That they're more convicted. Yep. And it doesn't have to mean something to us, but if it means something to them, it's really the only thing that matters. And so, again, it's not trying to be the morality police here or say that he was right or wrong, but it's maybe this guy is just a high IQ individual who was just I'm just going to take matters into my own hands, and he thought it was right. Dude, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's fucked up.
I don't think he was insane. I think to your point, all of us can get to the point of just being fed up.
Every person I've ever met
is
capable of horrific shit. Yeah.
And dude, there's an old and I don't know the quote, but Tupac, I remember when he was kind of going through all of his stuff with the government fucking with him and everything, right? Where he's like, yo man, you guys have froze my bank accounts and I can't make any money and you're doing this, and he said something like America eats its children, and he goes, I'm okay now, but, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's I'm okay now, but I'm not gonna be okay forever. You can't keep doing this to me,
and then not expect the
retaliation.
Yeah. What's the saying is we're all capable of murder. We just haven't met the right person yet.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's so fucking true, man. It's it's really bizarre, and I think that's where this this story takes an interesting turn, in terms of how it shapes out moving forward. Also, we're in this generation right now that's really empathetic towards murderers because of the way TikTok and social media.
Oh my God, dude, that shit has been, yes.
Which, by the way, it shouldn't even be social media anymore. It should be I think I was listening to Gary Vee or something make this comment about it should be called influencer media now, because social media in its inception was I want my friends and my family and I want to keep in touch and I want to post pictures and I want to share it, I want to stuff. It's become now just how do you influence the most? How do you
Or like
garner the most
attention media,
Yeah,
or
right.
something like that, right.
It's the highest form of currency we have now is attention.
Yep.
And that's what this quote unquote social media has become now. It's just the attention grab, right? It's just like sort of the vessel to the attention. And I don't know how you how do you use this stuff now, or how do you prevent this? Because these kids now will watch this, and it seems to be that like the suspects or the accused now have people who have empathy for them. You know, like you're seeing this with like the Menendez brothers, like documentaries, where now we're looking back at it 30 years later through this different lens, because this generation is like, well, there was trauma and listen, I don't whatever. Like I know the story is, they have they're accusing their parents or whatever of rape and whatever, right? Like okay, but at that time and place and whatever, like we didn't give a fuck. We were like, a murder is a murder, right? Like and we didn't really care. And I think this generation now is so much more empathetic towards like mental illness and what that does. And maybe we're just smarter as people and we've evolved, and maybe it's that, and maybe I'm the old guy going like, oh, these young kids are soft, like, or this is just a product of like of like this like new age of having access to TV and having access to the internet and having access, like it's almost like the byproduct of that. Do we become more informed?
We just said it right, where it's just like, I don't condone the murder, but I understand.
No, absolutely, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you were fucked by the healthcare system and you are looking at them as part of the problem, as part of the overall problem.
Yeah.
Then, and if you go, well, I'm gonna try to cut the snake's head off and go kill the top guy in at least this one industry, then maybe that will open up some eyes, right? Maybe the next guy or girl or woman that comes in and takes over that role goes, yo, we have to do better by people. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
But if that's your belief, then I understand.
Correct. Yeah. No, and to your, man, we could do a fucking whole series on the healthcare and, you know, the internet and sort of like what role that could play. But I think, to play devil's advocate, the issue you have with healthcare too is that the ingenuity comes from capitalism, right? Like the person working on a cure or on a treatment or on new age prosthetic and all that is incentivized to do so because of the accolades that come with that. And monetary accolades are part of that, right? It some of it is ego, right? Some of it is like a lot of doctors and people in that field, they have this God complex, right? And so some of that is fed by that, but a lot of it is money, right? And so what if let's say the government takes over healthcare, right? And that's everything, and that's like health insurance.
I don't suggest that.
And no, but I think like my point is like, I don't know what the better answer is, because is the answer you leave everyone to their own devices and they have to pay for it with the hospitals, and like now they're on their own to pay for it, right? Because we have, and then you have health insurance, and I understand it from the perspective of the health insurance companies, like they need to make a profit, right? And so are they making too much profit? Like, do we go down that rabbit hole?
Right. And what equates to too much? What
equates to too much? Because now I'm saying, I'm sure there's a number there where you go, hey guys, you're being greedy, maybe. But then that opens up a can of worms of like, where do you stop that?
Right.
Is making $4 on a cup of lemonade that costs you 40 cents to make because you're selling it at the carnival, like, that's a, however X percentage of a like, is that too much? Like, do you attribute a percentage to it? Do you, it's like, is it the dollar value we care about? Is it, I just don't know.
And here's the other thing, man. But like I said, it's, I think it just goes back to, I think it's that the entire system, right? Where it's like, if the things that are affordable and is being fed to us is causing us to be sick, and then therefore we need this health care, right? Or we need this insurance. And then so you have to pay into this. And then the insurance makes it hard for you to get money to actually get care. And then those are the guys influencing, them, and the drug companies are the ones influencing the politicians. It's just like, it's just this vicious cycle. And it's like, treat the root cause, not the symptoms. and maybe fix it that way to where maybe this is not such a lucrative
you
business
lessen, right,
in the future.
You lessen the instances of why we would need healthcare in the first place, and it's I see your point. I mean, I've always felt like we're so shitty about again being preventative and getting ahead of stuff, and health insurance companies will deny because they're like, oh, you're not here yet, but it's like, yeah, but I'm trying to keep myself from getting to that point, like you see, I saw it with a lot of people like on Ozempic where it was like they were denying, crazy, which is weird. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. But I remember people being denied because they were on the cusp of diabetes, and they were like, well, no, you don't have diabetes, so we can't give it to you. Right. And it was like, well, if I get to diabetes, it's going to cost you more money because now you're going to have to pay for tests and, medication. And
Ozempic is the weight loss thing,
it's the weight
right?
loss thing, but it's a lot of diabetics end up taking it like to lose weight to treat whatever. But it's like, I don't know the fact, I'm not saying that you should take Ozempic or they should absolutely approve it. I think the reason for denying it is like, well, you don't have diabetes. Well, it's like, well, if I get to diabetes, which is where I'm heading and I'm trying to prevent with this, you're going to have all this other cost. Now, having worked in finance for a long time, someone's already run that number and they figure that you getting diabetes is significantly cheaper than them allowing and I'm not talking on a one-to-one basis, right? They might go, if Sean gets diabetes, it's more expensive for Sean to get diabetes, and we have to pay for his coverage versus just letting him have Ozempic. Like, sure. But holistically, if we gave everybody Ozempic that was on the cusp, it costs us more money. So we'll take the flip side of that. Yeah. Like the math isn't on a one-to-one basis, right? It's based on
we'll take the gamble.
On a sample. We'll take the gamble. Exactly. And some nerd has run this math, bro, plenty of times. Like, insurance companies have some of the best actuaries and statisticians and all this stuff in the world. Like, they've done the math. Like, so like, it doesn't make sense to us, but from a profit standpoint for them, it does. And so, like, how do you change that mindset? And how do you switch this to a healthcare system that becomes preventative when the entire thing, to your point, is set up so that they can make as much money as possible, whether it was intended that way or not from the get-go? Who knows?
That's what it's grown into.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. And then so how do you walk that back at this? I don't know. But it is sad that we're ranked 46, 47 for life expectancy and number one in healthcare costs. Because, like, what are you getting then for that amount of money?
Correct.
And I will always argue with people, like, listen, people come here to get treatment. Like, we don't go everywhere else, right? We leave here to go get titties and stem cells. Other than that, bro, like, no one leaves America to get fucking healthcare. Like, it's like if you need a heart procedure, you're not flying anywhere else in the world. Like, if you're already here, you're not leaving here to go get a fucking heart transplant in Colombia or some stents put in, right? You're just not doing it, right? We have some of the best healthcare in the world in terms of, like, talent. Right, the doctors, the best doctors in the world come here. Like, so I think how do you keep that and change that system is where it gets tricky, because you also don't want a system where you have shitty healthcare. Because I know people will always talk about socialized medicine, whether it's in Canada and UK and all that. But if you also talk to the people from those countries, they also complain about how shitty their healthcare is.
Right. So, or how long they have to wait.
Right. How long they have to wait, the quality, how they pay for privatized anyway so that they can get seen sooner, they can get better stuff. They, whatever. It's like they're not happy with their system either. And they're also flying here if they want cutting edge cancer treatment, or they want cutting edge, heart treatment or lung or whatever it is. It's like, it's mostly here usually. So, I don't know.
All right, man. Let's get off that shit. How we doing on time, bro? We
got 43 minutes in talking about talking about a guy named Luigi.
Where's Mario?
Fucking A, bro.
We gotta talk about this fucking Drake.
Oh,
so for those of you who are not seeing Drake, yes, the hip hop artist, sues UMG, Universal Music Group, and Spotify for what he's basically saying is they promoted the "They Not Like Us" song by Kendrick, like using bots or using whatever, right? Probably the same shit that they do for his music.
Yeah.
But they did it for Kendrick's, and then of course, obviously the Kendrick and Drake had the whole battle shit. Man,
Coming off real bitch. Man.
Oh yes, bro. I was like, I'm like, dude,
You lost the battle
street cred is
already.
gone. Right, you lost the battle.
Yeah, you lost the battle with Kendrick. Kendrick smoked you in the.
You know what's
and
funny,
he did
man?
well. Like it wasn't like Drake got
No,
like
it was
embarrassing.
good.
It was just Kendrick's was better because he did what Drake normally does. It was like he made a banger. Do you know what I mean? Like the diss track was a banger.
Yep.
It's like, and it was probably Kendrick Lamar's biggest song by a long shot, right? Like Kendrick doesn't make commercial.
Yeah, it's the the ether. It's right. It's that. And I really thought, man, I was like, okay, Drake, you lost the battle. Just go back to making music, bro. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah, he just looks real bitch. And then it's also, you can't be mad at the same system that you benefited from now that it worked against you. Like, I think is where, like, it's puss. Because to your point, and I'm trying to figure out a way to break this down for people who don't know sort of what we're talking about. It's like the way that these streamers like Spotify and wherever YouTube sort of calculate streams, the math is different. Like a platinum album right now is like very different from like a platinum album back in the day we had to sell 1 million records. Like the way they do the math is very different, and the way they count it is very different. Like you don't need that many streams or sales or whatever to get to certain numbers anymore. And so what these companies do, because if they're in sort of bed with your record label, they sort of pump up your thing, or they use bots, or they run. It's like we could sit here and play our podcast on a loop on a platform and just to get our streams up, and it would get our streams up, and we could monetize and that'd make our life a lot easier. And there's like a very easy way to do that and farm that. Like, and so basically that's what music companies do.
What the hell are we doing, man?
I don't want to get. I ain't no bitch like Drake.
You mean you don't want fake streams?
I don't want
money?
fake streams. That's what I get for being fucking trying to be honest about the pod.
No, man. What it is that
I'm stupid.
You're fucking working. We got families. We got fucking young kids, man.
Damn it! I'm gonna set up a streaming farm now that I'm talking about this. Forget everything I said. God damn it, Kendrick, you on something? No, but everybody does it. So, but Drake has definitely done this because Drake has #1 songs that I've never fucking heard, and there's no way that you have a #1 song that I've never heard. Like to hit #1, you got to be top 40, whatever pop station.
Yep.
Top, like there's no fucking way. And Drake I think has more #1s than the Beatles and Jay-Z. Like he
has like an astronomical number.
I think he has the most #1s all time for a male artist. Like and kudos to him. But there are songs in there I've never heard in my fucking life. I know there's no chance that those songs actually ever hit #1, and they didn't. It's just the way that they count it in his streams or whatever. So he's suing them basically for like popularizing this song that was like hitting against him, and I think he's gonna end up suing for like defamation or something. I'm sure of Kendrick for talking shit and calling him a pedophile on there too,
bro.
But it just looks so bitch because you already lost the rap battle. It's like, bro, just go sit in the fucking sun and enjoy your vacation, and then just drop a banger and we'll forget, bro.
And dude, and battle rap is exactly that. They're gonna say shit about you that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Or they'll take a portion of the truth and blow it up. Like
it's real bitch.
It's what it is.
Kendrick's being a bitch right now too, though, man.
What's going on
with
with
his
him?
followers, bro? You see, he's beefing with Andrew Schultz and like.
I've heard a little bit about it, man. But tell me
Andrew Schultz made like a joke about raping Kendrick Lamar because he looks like a child. Like it was like a. I'm not here to say whether or not the joke was good. It was just a joke about rape, and Kendrick Lamar is making fun of the fact that Kendrick Lamar is like tiny and whatever. Anyway,
how tall is he?
That's a good question, man.
Right? Good. Tell me the thing. I'll look at it.
So anyway, so he made fun of him, whatever, and now because Kendrick made basically did like sort of an ambiguous line in a song that you could think it was Andrew Schultz, but the line is something like "Don't let white comedians, disrespect black women. That's law," something like that. The line is something loosely like that. Gary Owen thought it was about him. Schultz thinks it's about him because he's been talking a lot of shit. Like. Schultz makes fun of everybody, right? Everybody catches a smoke, and so it wasn't like personal. He was just making fun of the Kendrick Lamar thing. How tall is he?
I'm sorry.
How little is he? Let me just rephrase that. How little is Kendrick Lamar?
He's 4 foot 5'5".
Oh, 5'5". Yeah, okay.
He might as well be 4'11".
He might as well be 4'11". Okay, so yeah. So anyway, I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. Fucking
now I'm just, but now I'm thinking about
Schultz raping him because Schultz is like 6'5". Yeah. No, I get it. It's fucking hilarious.
That's fucking funny,
It's
bro.
so funny. So he makes fun of it. So of course now Kendrick Lamar is all like fucking in his feels, and so is like every Kendrick Lamar following. There's been all these rappers fucking like attacking Andrew Schultz online, and all these like NBA stars and all these people, and I'm sitting here going, are you guys the same people who built an empire off misogyny, off fucking drugs, off, like not just drugs, rapping about date raping chicks, and now you're fucking online crying about him making a joke? And I'm like, you don't have to like the joke, but you can't pretend to be a moralist all of a sudden. Like, it's fucking comical to me.
Do you know who the people
Oh my God,
were?
so many, bro. I think Meek Mill's hit him back. Matt Barnes has hit him back, like NBA guys. Like, just go on Schultz's Twitter and look at the responses he's getting.
I have to go look at that.
And it's just insane to me. Even Kendrick, bro, one of my favorite, and the hilarious part about it is like Kendrick Lamar isn't even like mainstream. Like, most white people don't know who Kendrick Lamar is, right? Like, he's huge in hip hop, but he doesn't transcend. Like, he's not ubiquitous with like Drake is ubiquitous with like hip hop and pop culture, and like he like sort of transcends that. Kendrick Lamar has like hip hop heads love Kendrick Lamar, and I think Kendrick Lamar is amazing.
Yeah, he is.
But he's not like a all-time artist across, like, I think the spectrum, right? Like, no one 50 years from now outside of hip hop is looking at Kendrick Lamar as an all-time great artist, where Drake is probably going to be in that conversation for better or worse, and it's because he's poppy. But he has one of my favorite songs of his, probably my favorite song of his. I think the line is something like, I want to fuck. I wish my dick was as big as the Eiffel Tower so I could fuck the whole world for 72 hours. Like the whole, and that whole song is like him fucking raping Earth, bro. And then I'm pretty sure in there he makes some really foul comments about women and all that shit. And I'm like, this guy is upset about a joke that a comedian made. And it's just really weird now to me, man, that the comedians are becoming like the woke police, like not the comedians, sorry, the rappers, because it's like the same group of people that have been persecuted for a long time, right? About their lyrics, about sort of the content, about their music videos, about all this stuff. And now suddenly they're like the sensitive bunch who's like, you shouldn't say
can't
this.
say that.
Yeah, like Drake being a bitch suing about this whole thing, fucking Kendrick Lamar whining about, you got NBA guys coming out, and I'm like, Matt Barnes, are you the same guy who's fucking like trying to throw a ball in Kobe's face and it's like, you guys are the same guys trying to be moralists,
like,
talking
how
about,
are you sensitive
hey, it's
now?
real out here. You can't talk about people like that and trying to like be fake hard. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, you don't have to like the joke. Like, I'm not saying you should laugh at the joke. It's like, that's okay not to laugh at the joke.
But it's still a joke.
It's still a joke. Move the fuck on. Like, it's like,
and like you said, it's from a comedian. It's kind of like the whole the Tony Hinchcliffe on the Trump thing, right? Where it's just like he makes a joke about Puerto Rico. It's just like, like, this is what he guys does. He roasts.
Yeah.
And Andrew Schultz, if you've ever watched his comedy,
he makes fun of everybody.
Yeah, and it's funny because the shit that the clips that he posts is typically him in different places around the world making fun of the people in that place.
Everyone in that, and man, I was like watching it and I was so disappointed in fucking Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm going, dude, you're having the best year of your career.
Absolutely.
You're getting a Super Bowl show. You have your biggest hit ever. You have like all of this from a rap battle and that's not to, and then before I'm like, that's not to discredit him as an artist, because like, again, he's done amazing music. And if you're a hip hop head, you really love Kendrick Lamar. Most of our mothers don't know who Kendrick Lamar is. Most of our older relatives don't know who Kendrick Lamar is. It's like he's a hip hop artist who right now has caught fire mainstream, and he's he's gonna get his like, even like me when they said he was performing in a Super Bowl, I go, I know a lot of Kendrick Lamar songs and I'm gonna enjoy that. I don't know that most of America, middle America, doesn't know who the fuck Kendrick Lamar is, right? Like. And he doesn't have many sort of like pop or like top 40 hits that he can. And maybe I'm gonna listen to that and go, oh shit, maybe he does. Like, I always forget, like, some of these artists do end up performing stuff.
No,
like, wow.
It's true, man. But I think to your point, and we talked about this like I don't know, like 1 or 2 podcasts ago when I said, like, my mom knows who Snoop Dogg is.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't know who Kendrick Lamar is. And so if she watches a Super Bowl, which she will,
and she's gonna go, who's the kid performing at halftime?
Who's the guy? Yeah,
who's the kid who performed at halftime?
Yeah.
She's like, wow, he's up past his bedtime to perform at the Super Bowl. Like, that's crazy. Let me stop talking shit.
Now
I get.
you know I have the. So I pulled it up on the web, right? So now I got that picture in my head, and then in big bold numbers, it's 5'5".
Isn't he? And he's like a black belt in karate, right?
He in something.
In something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they call
in
him
some
Kung Fu
kind
Kenny.
of-
Is he like a black belt? But you have to be if you're that small as a dude, right? Like you got to be. You got to almost walk around with the belt on, right? Just to scare people off.
Fucking t-shirt.
You got to walk around with the belt and then the amount of degrees that it's in. You know what I mean? But bro, man, I'm just so fucking Kendrick. You make amazing music. The fact that you're fucking whining about a comedian, it's just so disappointing, man. So disappointing. And again, I'm always gonna side with the jokes, right? Like I'm always gonna defend like people's right to make the joke. I don't think you should find the joke funny. I think where I'm laughing my ass off here is at the sort of the rap stars and the NBA stars and all these guys trying to be the sort of like woke police and the moral police now, you know, when they've all built careers off of doing the most horrific or talking about the most horrific shit you could, and good for them. But it's like, bro, you can't sit here now and play. And I love how every one of them has made a comment and Schultz has hit back with like a song lyric of theirs, or he'll take like a screenshot of something they said, or like a music video screenshot, or
like, oh, this guy,
and he's just fucking roasting the shit out of him. I mean, he's like, oh, they call him K-Dot because he responds like he's on his period all the time. Like, I was like, bro, you guys don't realize this dude just sits there all day thinking about ways to piss you off.
This is what he does.
It's like, okay, like sure.
And do not for nothing, man. When you are in the spotlight, I don't care if it's a podcast that's as small as ours, right? Or if you have like international fame. It's like when you put yourself out there, you also put yourself out there for the scrutiny.
Yeah, no, sure.
So it's like, yo, if you are sensitive, don't fucking read the comments.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like stop it. You have to understand that you're out there, and if you're putting yourself out there, whether it's your music, whether it's your personal views, political views, religious views, whatever, you open yourself up to scrutiny from everybody. And the internet is fucking relentless.
Oh, it's relentless, bro.
And then if you got these guys who are professionals at fucking making fun of shit, like, yo, you're going to get the smoke.
And unfortunately, if you're Schultz, now you have to think about, do you just let it go or do you double down?
No, you double down.
No, but like to your point, people are going to see that, right? And now you have people who are a little bit crazy, a little bit off, that you may run into in public now. So if you're Schultz,
that's true.
Right now you have to go, how far do I want to take this?
Right.
Because these guys can't take a joke. Right. And then like I'm an asshole, so I'm doing what he's doing, which like he's been doubling down lately. Like he just takes every chance he can get to make a joke about him now.
Yeah.
And that would probably be my approach. But like if you're someone like a public figure like him, I'd have to
who has a wife and a daughter
and a very young
you
daughter,
have to think
about that, right? Like so I'm not like numb to that either, where I go, it's easy for me to say from like sitting in my chair.
Correct.
But if I'm on that side, I'm going, fuck, is it worth it? Because, you know, maybe these guys do think that he really, you know, that he's a gangster and they want to stand up for Kendrick Lamar. You get some super fan who, you know, thinks he's a thug and whatever. You know, Schultz comes into town for a show, you know, and you hope it doesn't come to that, man. Bro. You hope it doesn't come to that. But if you're him, you got to think about it now.
Yeah.
Which fucking sucks because you're like, yo, because you guys can't take a joke. You know, it's like, or it's like change the channel. Like I can't stand when people try to censor people for shit. It's like, just change the channel. Like you can't tell someone not to say something. And you know, to further along that point, it's like, I'm not even, if you're Schultz, you have to expect the backlash. You have to be ready for the smoke. And so he can't cry victim either, because I've seen a couple of videos of him where like he's upset about the comments they're making about his daughter and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know that making comments about a fucking infant are in the best taste, but also to your point, it's like he's a public figure. You've opened yourself up to that. You kind of got to take it. You know, it's like, so he's not, you know, innocent in this either. It's like you're dishing it. You got to take it. I know you're upset about them, but you've opened your family and yourself up. And I know like celebrities usually want to say, well, no, I'm exposing myself.
Not my family.
But no, man, they're just part of the crosshairs, man.
It's you and everything.
It's collateral damage,
you,
man.
Bro.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's collateral damage, man. So I don't know, man. I hope we get out of this era of bitch and these guys man the fuck up, because like I think Drake and fucking Kendrick, and it's like, man, you remember the days when hip hop guys like you thought were hard, and now you gotta look down at them.
And you know what's funny, man, is I think that I don't think necessarily that people have changed that much. I think that the social media factor of of people getting angry and then picking up their phone and posting something so that you're seeing everybody's thoughts in real time, and you're realizing that it's just like I can have a reaction about something. My first inclination is not to pick up my phone and post something publicly.
And it is for most people, or they're drama. But good for us because we get the entertainment. But yeah, dude, I posted something. I got you know how your social media tells you, like Facebook, I think it was, 5 years ago you posted this, or 6 years ago, or I got one of those recently. Yeah. And the post was, and I started thinking about how relevant that was to how I feel now about social media, which was, I posted something like, man, I used to wonder what it would be like to read people's minds. And now that we have Facebook, I was like, I know. And it's like, I changed my mind. It's like, y'all stupid. It's like, I don't want to know all the time. Bro. Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit about social media, and the more I see it, I'm like, man, the more it just gives people a license to be dumber or feel like they're entitled. Like, everyone feels like they're entitled to their opinion, but also that we want to hear it. And it's like, we don't want to hear it, and it's such a waste of time. It's like there's so much about it now that I'm just like, the older I get, the more I'm convinced that there's like very little value in social media if you're not someone in it to create content for views that you can monetize. Like, I think if you're just a consumer, it's such a waste of time. It's so toxic, and
and I think that we're not too far from your posts affecting your ability to get a job.
Oh, we're there.
I think we're already there.
Yeah, we're there. But also, I think we're also not far, bro, from. I think the next wave, and it might be your kids, it might be, maybe this next generation, like the kids that are sort of like getting into their teen years now, where it's almost going to be cool to not have it. I think that we're going to enter this era. Like, we have the highest suicide rates ever. We have like we have like the highest rates of depression ever. We have the highest rates of people in therapy and all this stuff. And some of that's a good thing. Like, I mean, not, maybe this we've always needed it, and social media on the good side has sort of made that okay.
Yep.
For people to sort of look out for their mental health. I think also what comes of that is like, what are the things contributing to that? What are the, factors outside of you? And I think for a lot of people, is watching people online do shit contributes to their depression, contributes to anxiety, contributes to like everything that's not good. Like, very few people go, I opened Facebook today and I'm glad I did. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty much a waste of time,
dude.
It's a time kill. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's not so much a time kill for me, but sometimes I'll open it and I'll question why I'm still, sort of quote unquote friends with this person.
I do that shit every day.
It's that part is crazy to me, where I go like, wow, man, like you. I'm not even so shocked that you think a certain way, but the fact that you thought that way and then you thought it was a good idea to go, hey, let me publicly say this because whatever fill in the fucking blank.
Yeah. Dude, there was a time where the first thing I would open in the morning, like I would wake up and I would immediately grab my phone and I would open like Instagram and and it would be like the first thing I would look at. And I remember one morning wanting to throw my phone over the balcony because I was like so disappointed in myself that like I got into that point. And I'm much better about it now. Like I don't open that like first thing in the morning. I don't like. I still have an issue. Like I still open it more than I should, but I was catching myself going, man, if I sit in an elevator for 2 floors, I fucking open it because I need to, kill the time, or if I'm at a restaurant and I'm waiting for food and it's like, I've got to open it.
Or you go to take a shit.
Yeah, bro, you're at a red light. How many of you? Yeah, you take a shit. You scroll for a fucking hour. Bro, you're at a red light. How many times have you opened?
Fucking legs are getting numb.
Yeah. Dude, how many times have you opened? Oh, so true. You get up and you're fucking almost going to the wall because your legs are asleep. Bro, you're at a red light and you open your phone and the first thing you open is social media. It's fucking sad, bro. It's like, it's so bad. And I remember like catching myself doing that shit all the time, going like, what a waste of time, and how much am I missing around me because I'm fucking glued to this little screen there, watching people that I don't like anyway. Like, I think that's your point where I go, why am I still following this person? Like, I've done good about that lately where I'm just like, I'll see something and I'll question and then I'll go unfollow. Like, I'm just like, I've been going through like this purge thing where I'm just like, I just fucking hate it. I'm like, why am I doing that to myself? Like, I don't have a good answer. Like, it's just like, the answer is like, it's like, I don't know, because everybody does, right? It's just like, it's so true, weird, man. It's so weird, but
all right, man. Let's fucking switch gears here. You see my Bears this week or the last week,
bro?
Oh, wait a minute, what fucking week are we in?
No.
Was last week Thanksgiving? No, it was the week before.
2 weeks, bro. We
fucking God damn it!
I was texting you in the middle of that fucking comeback towards the end, and I had to stop mid text because debacle with the clock, and it was coming off the podcast we had just done.
Yes,
about you talking about how shitty you felt about the Bears, and and we were trying to work on your Stockholm syndrome. And they were sucking you back in, and you had relapsed a little bit. So episode 208, relapse. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, and I was like, wow, wow.
But so for those of you who did not see it, it was the first game on Thanksgiving Day. The Bears played the Lions. The Lions definitely a better team. They should have won that. The Bears kept it really close, had a chance to win at the end, and they had a time clock debacle, which I solely placed the blame on the head coach, Matt Eberflus, and as expected, the following day they fire this guy.
Which I didn't know until you mentioned that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't see that.
And I was like, oh, you got to fire him. Like, I remember in that moment thinking, you have to fire him. Like,
dude,
you can't survive
I was like, when I watched the game, as a matter of fact, because I had gotten angry the week prior, I actually, and we hosted Thanksgiving at my house. So I went into that game. Luckily, people don't come to my house early.
You mentioned that on the pod too. Like, hey, I'm going to watch this Thanksgiving game tomorrow, but before people show up.
Yes, and it was, but I was like, I went in to watch that game knowing that they're probably going to fucking blow it, and I cannot let this fuck with my mood.
Affect things. Yo, how dope would Thanksgiving be if Sean's in a pissy mood because the Bears just because you were allowed to be, bro. That shit was wild.
So anyway, man, they fucking lose. They fire this guy. Now I'm just so now so a couple of weeks prior to that, right? They fire the offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. They promote this other guy. I can't remember his name, Thomas something. They promote him to OC. Then now they fire Eberflus. Now they promote this guy who was a secondary coach. Now he's the head guy. And from being a fan, from a fan's perspective, right? You go, I just want whoever's in charge. I just want it to work.
Right.
But in this case, bro,
they had a bye week, right? Like this past week.
No.
Oh, they did play Sunday? This past Sunday?
They played fucking...
Because I know they played Monday night this week, but...
No. They played San Fran. And they got their asses handed to them.
Did they? With the
new guy.
Okay.
Yeah, with the new guy.
Okay.
And as I'm watching that game, I actually ended up watching about 3/4 of that.
Okay.
And then I go, this is a horrible game. Like, I'm just going to switch. And so I found myself going, you know what? Not that I'm wishing, not that I'm praying on a downfall for this new interim head coach, because like as a fan, I want it to work, but I'm going, I just want a good leader in that role. I want the pedigree, or I want the tried and true fucking coach. This is going back to, remember I talked about this on here with you when I'm going like, is it better to be a fan of a coach rather than a team? Like, fuck the teams, right? Like, if you take like any other really good coaches, right? Like the Kyle Shanahans or the Andy Reeds, right? Or the Belichicks, the Bill Belichicks, the fucking Sean McVays, the Jim Harbaughs, right? Like, is it better? Like, if you were a Jim Harbaugh fan, and you just go, wherever this guy is at, like, Yo, he breeds success, bro. At Stanford, he goes to the Niners. He goes to the Super Bowl. He fucking goes to Michigan. He wins the national championship. Now he's with the Chargers in the first year.
And they look
been in a
great.
fucking debacle before he got there, and he's changed his cultures, right? So like, I just want I want for the Bears for them to get somebody like these guys, a leader of men that can fucking lead them to success,
bro. And there was something that you had mentioned earlier. I think we were off air. You were mentioning the press conference after that game, and how he sort of like took responsibility but didn't try to play the blame. And it's like, it's the most like leadership 101. It's like everything is your fault that's bad, right? Everything is your fault. Like you take responsibility for everything that's bad, and anything good you give credit, right? It's like that's like the most basic. Every leadership book you will ever read, any leadership class you will ever take, anything. It's like, if you're not good at anything else, give credit when things go well. Take all the blame when things go bad.
Yes.
And it's like, people will respect the accountability. People will respect you for taking ownership of that. People like, we'll allow you to be bad. Like in that case, bro, if he goes into that press conference and he goes, yo, I fucked up. I have a rookie quarterback. We had this thing I should have called the timeout. That's on me. Like, it won't happen again. Or we'll work on fixing that. Or whatever. You have to think twice about firing him. Right? You have to go, okay, self-aware. Okay, I don't like that. That was an embarrassing situation, but he's falling out. But the fact that he goes up there and goes, I thought we had the right play call or whatever. It's
he fucking goes, in one hand he says, oh, like, I'm the coach, so, like, everything starts and ends with me. Everything is kind of my fault. But I feel like we had the right play in.
Yeah, which is like a woe is me ass response. It's like, it's a fucking you're going to blame me because I'm the guy in this seat. Yeah. But really, it shouldn't be on me. It's like, no, it is your fault, bro. Because no, he absolutely should have been fired after that. And I hate saying that about coaches and all that stuff. I know they make a lot of money and stuff. It's not like these guys are going to go hungry. I always tend to think of it as like, I think we forget that these guys are people with families. And so like him getting fired means he has to uproot his entire family. Agreed. His kids are in whatever school, his wife's got her social structure. It's like, now you have to go, and maybe he gets a job in fucking Cleveland and they got to go live there now. It's like, as a coordinator. It's like, I hate like being like, fire this guy. But in this instance, it's like, dude, he's a coordinator. Like,
and I also think that, man, I think he was a really good defensive coordinator with the Colts, and that's what got him this job initially. And it's like, maybe that's, and you mentioned Gary Vee earlier, man, and Gary Vee always says something that always like resonates well with me, where it's like, yo, everybody's not the number one. You can be a phenomenal 2 or 3 or 4. You do not have to be the guy.
Yeah, you could be Scottie Pippen
or the woman, right?
And
like
do
it's just
great.
Like, like you don't have to be the 1. You can be the 2, the 3, the 4, and be phenomenal at that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so I think that this guy is a really good defensive coordinator, and that's probably where he should stay. Or at least if you have aspirations to be a head coach, then you need to, kind of look at this and learn from it. Maybe take a step back for a little bit and then try again later on.
Yeah, man. I wonder what like what he'll do. Or do you go to the college level, or it's how Belichick is. In
North
deep
Carolina,
conversations to be the head coach.
No,
of
they
North
hired
Carolina.
him.
Oh, did they make it official?
By the time I got here, they
oh wow, okay, yeah. Last I heard he was in conversation. Yeah, so wow, yeah. Which
I don't see that fucking working. But
I just don't. But also, excuse me, from an X's and O's perspective, sure, college just isn't about that. So what I'm curious to see is, does his ego allow him to I don't want to say soften up, but you have to almost be willing to cater and kiss ass to fucking 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds and 19-year-olds, and you're a 6-time Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame coach.
Right. They should want to come to you.
They should want to come to you. You, like, to your point about Jim Harbaugh earlier, that guy, it just walks into a room and he commands the room, and whatever he has, whatever that it is he can walk into the living room of a 17-year-old kid, and the dad and the mom are looking at him going like, you need to go play for that guy. And the 17-year-old kid is going, yeah, I know, right?
Dude,
like,
and that's Dion right now, right?
Yes,
Like that's what Dion. Yeah. Dion is commanding that.
Bill Belichick have that? Maybe he does, and we don't know, right? Like, I guess we'll find out. Like, does Bill Belichick have because it's also different. Bill Belichick at Alabama, you'd be like, fucking A, it's Alabama. It's a pedigree. You go from Nick Saban to Bill Belichick. Like, I could see it. It could work. You could sell that.
Right.
Bill Belichick to North Carolina? Mac Brown was just there, right?
I was just gonna say that's the only coach that I know that has ever been there,
and that's only because he's came from a storied program in Texas and won a national title, and and arguably the greatest college football game of all time, and he's involved in that, but didn't really do well at. And he's a college guy, right? He's good at recruiting. He's good at the X's and O's. He's good at
having to deal with like the whole nil stuff.
I just don't know that Bill Belichick's ego will allow him to do that.
Dude, so
but he might shock me. I don't know. Who knows?
This past weekend they had Gronk, they had Tom Brady, and they had Julius Edelman on one. I think it was like I don't know if it was. Tom Brady, is he with Fox or is he CBS?
Yes, he's on Fox.
Okay,
yeah.
so it was the Fox, one of the Fox shows, and they had all three of them on, and they asked them, "Yo, do you see Belichick, in the college?" And all three of them were just like, "Nope."
Yeah, wow.
Don't see it. And it's funny, man. I just recently watched the Aaron Hernandez.
Documentary.
It's not really a documentary, man. It's like a made for TV mini series or whatever, right? It's like eight episodes or whatever. But it kind of goes through like him from young through the end.
Okay.
And the way they portray Belichick on that show is exactly the way that the three of them were portraying him in that interview.
Oh,
where it's very much like he's almost very condescending, where it's just like, yo,
that's his reputation, right?
You're a decent player, but I don't really need you, and that's the way he was in that series, and that's the way they were portraying him, and they go like, yeah, like that's not gonna work with the college.
No, because you have to kiss their ass. That's what I'm saying. Like, is your ego gonna allow you to tell a 17-year-old how amazing he is and how much you need him and yada? Dude, I don't know. He's been, in his credit, he's been dating like a 20-something-year-old chick.
Yo,
maybe he just talks to her. She helps him out. Like, yo, what do I gotta tell this? He just brings her with him. Like, hey, come here. I need you to go earn that Birkin.
That's the name of the episode.
Earn the Birkin. Bro, I'm like, fuck, because I didn't think Belichick had it in him to date a fucking 20-something-year-old. I didn't think a 20-something-year-old would be interested in this guy.
Yeah.
But who knows, bro? Maybe this whole time he's been putting up this persona of this dry ass attitude. Or you know how like some people get old and they're just like in the fuck it mood and they're just like, maybe that's him now. He's like, I got 6 rings. I'll try. Yeah, why not?
I'll try anything.
Yeah. The 27-year-old made a very open-minded all of a sudden.
How old is he?
He's 70-something.
Oh,
he gotta be, right? He's
bro,
gotta be in his 70s.
I'm 50.
Bro. Yeah.
And there are things that I am not willing to put up with anymore. I can't imagine me 20 years from now. Bro, that list is gonna grow exponentially.
I talk to anyone like 5 years younger than me, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, bro, it's fucking exhausting. I'm like, oh my god, and that's anybody, bro. It could be people like at work, and you could be a male, and if you're like 5 years or more younger than me, the whole time I just hear the Charlie Brown thing. Womp, 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 womp. I'm like, go away.
Yeah, how we doing on time,
Oh,
bro?
my, bro, we're like an hour 17 now.
All right, man.
You want to do this for a minute? I'm trying to think of because I don't want to skip on something that we probably should hit. Fuck, man, dude, we got to talk about the Biden thing at least before we.
Let's do it.
Before we head off, I think if there's anything we got to get at,
let's do it.
Is Biden pardoned his son, who he had said unequivocally, "I will not pardon my son."
Yes.
And then now he's on his way out, and obviously went ahead and he had a whole reason for it and whatever. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on him pardoning?
Okay, here's my thing.
Yeah.
First of all, the father in me goes, "You goddamn right, I did."
Yeah.
The other thing is his explanation. Instead of just going, "You goddamn right, I did. I'm leaving and I'm taking him with me."
Yeah.
He came out and he's talked about Hunter being victimized. which is fucking bullshit. Dude, your son is doing shady shit. You were probably involved in some of it as well. Dude, just come out and go, you know what? I'm allowed to do this, and I'm leaving, and I'm taking my son with me.
Nah, bro. You know how they say, like, you're not yourself when you're hungry? You ever watch those Snicker commercials? You're not yourself when you're on crack. That wasn't cocaine. Was it cocaine? I thought it was crack. I thought he was into some wild. Listen,
No, didn't they find cocaine in the White House?
No, they definitely did. But I think Hunter Biden's like the drug of choice. I think it's crack.
Oh,
I think he does cocaine for sure. But I think the problem, nobody has a problem with cocaine. I think the problem is the crack. I think in his defense, it's like, bro, as Hunter, like sober Hunter is cool. Sober Hunter is a victim. Cracked out Hunter is the victimizer. That's the suspect. He's like, you're not you when you're on crack, bro. I fucking get it. Because to your point, I went, yeah. I don't care. Like, yeah, I get it, dude. You're on your way out. You're like, fuck it. I already, like, this presidency's already been marred by, you know, my age, by controversy, by whatever. Yeah, what do I have to lose?
They kicked me out.
Yes, they kicked me out. I'm gonna die 6 months from now. So,
fuck you all.
At Secret Service, I don't mean by murder. I mean he's probably already on life support. In case when my FBI guy's listening right now about to raid my apartment because I said he's gonna die in 6 months. But fucking, why wouldn't you? Yeah, I saw that shit and I was like, good for you. Good for you.
I did too.
Because Trump would do that in a heartbeat. Bush would have done that in a heartbeat. Obama would have done, like, every fucking president would have done that for their kid in a heartbeat. Why the fuck not?
Trump pardoned Kodak Black.
Yeah, you know how much you have to hate your kid for not pardoning him over drug allegations and fucking thing, bro? Bro, you know how much? Yo, my kid could have been accused of raping Kendrick Lamar, and I would have given him.
Andrew Schultz, your pardon.
Andrew Schultz, I'd have been like, your pardon, buddy. Come here, son. Of course I would have fucking pardon. Oh man, bro, and I love how like news and everybody's like spinning this whole shit and like giving them shit. I get it. It's fucking slow news day.
Dude,
or whatever. But of course you do this, man.
It's very hypocritical.
Yeah, sure,
but
yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
It's your, I would almost judge him more if he didn't. I would be more critical of a Joe Biden who left office and let his son serve time for some dumb shit that he had the power to make go away.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck what anybody says about wanting your kids to learn a lesson and you teach them and blah, I give a fuck. Yeah, it's whatever. Your kid. You're the sitting president of the United States. It isn't like the crime was so heinous. You know what I mean? Like there's certain levels of crime where you're like, bro, you got to serve the time. Like, help me out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This shit Hunter Biden did. Don't nobody give a fuck about that, bro. We only care because he's the son of a president.
I don't even know what he did.
I couldn't name him in charge. I just know he like crack.
I just know he got a laptop.
He like cracking bitches. And he got a laptop. I'm like, he sounds like me. He sounds like all my friends, yeah.
Dude, the only thing this showed me was that I was like, I need to get into politics. Okay, you know why, man? Because I got 3 sons, and I do not have high hopes for all of them. And I feel like maybe one day Johnny Tapia, will have to pardon.
You're gonna have to pardon. Yo, we gotta play a game like rate the rate them in order of severity of the crime. It's like one of them, you know, you gotta convert their college fund into bail money.
The one pops into mind right away. Yo, on that, tell them where they can find us.
The Coming From the Podcast on IG, at Coming FE Pod on X, at Coming From the Podcast on TikTok, The Coming From the Podcast on YouTube, and then all your favorite audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts rather, Amazon Music, Audible, Radio FM, Geo7, kind of all of them. Look us up to tell your smart device. Yeah, we're on everything. Leave us a review on anything that you can, namely Apple Podcasts and YouTube, and I think
there's a few of them.
There's a few of them. I'm trying to think. I think Spotify lets you, but yeah, leave us a review. It helps with the algorithm. So hook us up, give us a star or 5.
Yeah, give us something.
So,
all right, I'm gonna leave you out with this week.
oh, you got the quote? You got the quote? Let's
Got
go.
the quote.
Let's go.
If you are not changing, you are choosing. Let that shit marinate, and that goes for everything. That goes for your professional life, goes for your personal life, relationships, whatever. If you are not changing, you are choosing.
Oof, marinate on that. Yeah.
And as always, we appreciate you guys. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.